Thank you very much, GRA. Shall we now welcome
board, management and staff of GRA, invited guests, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's still good morning, I think. On behalf of the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Ghana Revenue Authority on the launch of the Sustained Tax Education Program and the Modified Taxation Scheme. These dual initiatives mark a significant milestone in our collective effort to deepen tax awareness and improve compliance, particularly within the Ghana's vibrant informal sector. In today's economic landscape, tax education is not just a technical exercise, it is the cornerstone of inclusive development. When citizens understand their tax obligations, we unlock the potential to mobilize domestic revenue for critical investments in infrastructure, healthcare, education, industrial transformation, and job creation. This program is therefore aligned with Ghana's broader economic goals. As a ministry, working closely with traders, SMEs, manufacturers, and local entrepreneurs, we fully support this campaign. We are committed to collaborating with the Ghana Revenue Authority to ensure that tax education is accessible across all regions and all sectors, especially those in the informal economy whose participation is essential. A well-informed taxpayer is a willing and compliant taxpayer. Strengthening tax literacy builds trust, enhances transparency, and fosters voluntary compliance. Key ingredients for a fair and effective tax system. We commend GRA's ongoing digital transformation, which is simplifying tax processes and improving accessibility. The ministry stands ready to support sensitization efforts across business community, including through using our regional trade offices and MSMEs networks. Let's take this opportunity to encourage all Ghanaians, especially our dynamic trading and business communities, to embrace taxation as a civic duty and a strategic investment in Ghana's future. Tax is not a burden. It is a shared responsibility that fuels nation building. Finally, we call for continuous stakeholder dialogue to ensure that taxpayer feedback informs future reforms. The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry pledges its full support to the success of this program and to the broader transformation agenda of Ghana Revenue Authority. May God bless our efforts. Thank you very much.
It is not primarily unwillingness to pay, but rather it's about barriers. Barriers such as complex filing systems, limited awareness, and mistrust in public financial management. Now, I'm confident that it's exactly the types of schemes that we're launching today that will significantly improve voluntary compliance and also increase tax revenue collection. When you look at the evidence, for example, from the International Center for Tax and Development, it highlights that there are some low-hanging fruits when it comes to choices available to policymakers. For example, raising the minimum income tax threshold to protect low earners, better utilizing existing tax data, improving relationships between the taxpayer and revenue authorities. These are all low-cost activities that can have a significant impact. As was mentioned, the UK has been working with Ghana for many years now. In fact, for 9 years now, we've been working together on tax reforms. And the partnership that we have in place is one of peer-to-peer engagement, peer-to-peer learning between the UK's and Ghana's tax authorities, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs and the GRA, but also between the UK's Institute for Fiscal Studies and the Revenue Policy Division here. And all of these engagements are enabled by a significant bilateral tax program, the Ghana Revenue Program. And so together we've worked to improve voluntary compliance, to raise additional revenue, and to offer exceptional service and experience to taxpayers. And it's striking to see the results that have come out of this collaboration. Working on areas like the taxation of high net worth individuals, the automatic exchange of information, e-commerce and e-VAT, helped to raise an additional 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in revenue last year. We want to express our admiration for the government's robust focus and emphasis on fiscal responsibility and economic stability. The revised TFM Act now mandates an annual primary surplus of 1.5%. Now what this means in practice is that Ghana's ability to raise revenues has never been more important in order to achieve the government's priorities then for growth and human development. Excellencies, guests, next year marks 10 years of the UK's partnership with Ghana on tax reforms, and we look forward to celebrating that milestone with the GRA, Ministry of Finance, other stakeholders, and the development partners that have also been mentioned as playing an important role, the IMF, World Bank, European Union, GIZ, and UNDP. As Ghana leads on tax innovation across the region, the UK reaffirms its commitment to support these efforts. We believe that together we can achieve the objective of building a tax system that is fair, efficient, and trusted by all. So let me close by congratulating Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance on this important launch, and we look forward to continued collaboration and continued success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Christian Rose, British High Commissioner to Ghana. Now, our next speaker is tax, but that's still taxation.
For me, one appeal, which is to our MPs, to our executives, to business, and to all stakeholders, to help us sustain our tax policies and measures. It has been mentioned that the modified tax system is actually in production for 10 years. It was part of what was to be the income tax, the revised income tax act that was repealed again. In other fact, it replaces and less of a tax. It represents the obligation of small business for the VAT calculation and for the income tax calculation. And the idea was given the complexity involved in assessing income tax, keeping records of income, keeping records of expenditures, which is very cumbersome for small business. On the VAT side, keeping records, same records, and calculating the refund, the credit, and everything. But we have a system that is based on one measure on your sales, which is also called a telepack. It's easy for any business at the end of the day, to say, today I sold so much. So that is the simplification that is in the entire business. The sales that you need to calculate your income tax, the sales that you need to calculate your output tax. As expenses and everything is regulated. Not that they are unimportant, but it's regulated. And so when you pay a flat rate, it is replacing the VAT flat rate scheme. And this is why I asked for sustainability of policy providers. It is replacing the presumptive income tax, which was refined and restructured. You will believe it when the late Excellency President Mills became Commissioner on Internal Revenue Service. The presumptive income tax. It is no coincidence that the formation of GRA to unify tax administration also occurred under President who was the tax practitioner. So what I wish to, this is why I'm feeling that we allow policies to be sustained and appeal instead of changing them, whether with the political cycle, with the commissioner general, with the minister, or whatever. This is global practice. Most countries are simplifying, their tax systems for small business to be able to comply. And it also appeals to GRA to implement the practitioner scheme everywhere. The reason the US filing system is very popular is that you can go to a tax practitioner who complements the work of the tax practitioners, and they can keep the records. At the end of the day, you keep the records and the rest of you pay them the fee, you calculate the file, then you returns for it. I think that is in the state of the portion of the Revenue Administration Act, which now applies to all the. So we can also bring in the practitioners so that it's a sort of for our graduates, especially those who do Bachelor of Commerce, who do BSc Administration, even for Masters in Administration. They can come together and complement the implementation on the tax. It facilitates compliance. The other point is that it does not compel you to remain in that category. As your business grows and as your record keeping practices become, something you are capable of doing, it is, of course, there are big benefits for larger business. If you get out of the small into the medium and into the large, you can decide to start taking your records. You can decide to comply with the complex tax. And that also has benefits. There are benefits in the sense that as you need the decision, again, to the level of the late consumers. The tax incentive, there's any tax incentive, the 5-year tax holiday, and other, which are the tax regime, the tax law, the income tax act, used to apply to every foreigners. And if you are a business, you have to. So if you are a container, you buy a container, you use part of your house, or shop, front to. There are schemes that are available to you as a small business, if you can keep the records. Right? To keep those records, apportion some of the expenses that you need for electricity, for whatever, use the cash allocation, rather than income. So this is not holding anybody to a permanent regime as you go. It is advantage of business that as you go, you can then progress and move into another routine. So let me show appreciation to GRA for bringing this scheme back and hopefully our informal sector. Those who are going to the informal sector as small businesses will be able to pay their first the tax for the government. That's what I'm trying to do.
National Democratic Congress, our Trade Minister, Commissioner General and Commissioners of GRA, my leader and chairman of the board and board members of GRA. I see the First Deputy Governor, Your Excellency, the British High Commissioner, Mama, I don't see Pablo here, Nana, and our hard-working staff of GRA. It gives me great pleasure to represent Ghana's Finance Minister, Dr. Kasil Atoforsen, at this sustained tax education campaign and modified taxation scheme. When the Commissioner General and also the Chairman of the Board, Honorable Richard Kagan, took the attempt to address this gathering, they made reference to the promise made by the Finance Minister during the presentation of his first budget, that we will launch a sustained tax education program over the next 3 years. And we are here to fulfill that promise. And honestly, that is not the only promise Dr. Atoforsen made. Those of you who have been following parliamentary debate, while in opposition, he kept complaining about Ghana's VAT system and that our VAT architecture is too cumbersome and burdensome on the taxpayer. And so he will take steps to restructure it and to reduce the burden on Ghanaians. I'm here to inform you that next Thursday, he will present the 2026 budget to the Parliament and the people of Ghana on behalf of His Excellency President Mahama, and he will fulfill that promise as well. Today's occasion is not merely about taxes. It is about starting a lifelong journey of building trust, promoting fairness, building a happy tax culture, in ensuring that every citizen and business contributes their fair share for the progress of our beloved nation. This initiative marks a critical new chapter in our collective effort to build a fair, transparent, and inclusive tax system that supports national development and empowers every citizen to play an active role in shaping the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, no nation can develop on borrowed funds alone. Our roads, hospitals, schools, clean water, electricity, and public safety are funded through our tax revenue. When the British High Commissioner was speaking, he made reference to some of the pictures that we have in our brochure that is depicting some of the projects that we have done in this country using our tax revenue. Even those projects that are funded through loans are repaid with our taxes. And so tax is everything. Taxes are not penalties for wrongdoing. They must be considered as investments we all make to build a stronger, fairer, and prosperous society. When we pay taxes, we make it possible for government to deliver essential services, improve infrastructure, and create opportunities for our youth. A country that depends on only a few people to shoulder the tax burden cannot progress sustainably. Each of us, individuals, traders, corporations, and professionals, has a role to play in strengthening our national development. Taxation is more than just generating revenue. It plays a vital role in fostering development, enhancing governance, and building a stronger bond between citizens and the government. Each city collected helps finance our schools, hospitals, and infrastructure that connect our communities. For taxation to serve its full purpose, citizens must understand, trust, and willingly participate in the tax system. This understanding doesn't happen by chance. It must be built through intentional, sustained, and inclusive tax education. That is why we are gathered here today, to reaffirm our shared commitment to ongoing tax education as a key part of Ghana's revenue mobilization strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, the Ghana Revenue Authority, led by the Ministry of Finance, has made significant progress in the modernization of tax administration. We want to depend on you to advocate to your members to pay taxes. The energy you use to encourage them to pay tithes must also be used to encourage them to pay taxes. Our Bible says, give unto Caesar, which is the secular authority, what is for Caesar, and give unto God through the churches, what is for God. So don't let us something. During President Kufuor's era, you recall he took us to picnic, and he decided that every project that they would do with whatever savings they made from picnic, they will label it PIPIC initiative. And so there were a number of projects dotted all across our country labeled as PIPIC. Recently, I can see my senior colleague whispering there. I went to renovate a chips compound in one of the communities in my constituency called Kudikope. I spent a lot of money to renovate this building and repainted it. The community insisted that I saw right on it, PIPIC initiative. Because to them it was from PIPIC that they got that project. I think it is important that we educate our people, we let them see what we are using their taxes for. Once they see that, they will willingly do work, and they will be willing to pay more for us to provide more of those items. Our approach must be collaborative. The government agencies cannot do this alone. The media, civil society organizations, traditional authorities, and the private sector all play crucial roles. Notably, the media continues to be a strong partner in influencing perceptions, combating misinformation, and enhancing transparency in our tax system. Let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that the Ministry of Finance remains fully committed to supporting the Ghana Revenue Authority in expanding and maintaining its public education initiatives. The Ministry will therefore continue to offer the essential policy guidance, resources, and partnerships to ensure tax education becomes part of our national culture. And Honorable Chief of Staff, you may want to appeal to His Excellency the President that he directs every government official, any opportunity you get to address any gathering, you must repeat a phrase on tax education. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our goal is straightforward yet impactful: to create a nation where paying taxes is seen not as a burden but as a patriotic duty. It is envisaged that when taxpayers are well informed, they will comply voluntarily. When they observe accountability, trust is fostered. With trust in place, revenue grows and so will Ghana grow. Honorable Sosu, when he was addressing us on behalf of Parliament, made a very good statement that we must reward those who pay their taxes. And so we are going to work with GRA to not only name and shame those who default in their tax payment, but also recognize and reward those who are compliant. It is very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's tax to GDP ratio presents a concern.
Hospital, Papa, Ghana, yes,
Excellency, yes, I do admit attaining complete voluntary compliance is a journey, but I believe we have taken too long to reach that desired destination. And I consider this campaign as an essential tool to help us speed up our travel time. Moving forward, I urge all citizens and residents to make efforts to understand the need to voluntarily declare and pay accurate taxes to ensure national development. And here I want to assure the Deputy Finance Minister that your message will be carried to His Excellency, but be assured that even from my desk, the directive will be given to all our colleagues. This sustained tax education campaign, I understand, will utilize a variety of educational strategies, tools, and outreach efforts to ensure that all taxpayers and the general public are well informed about their duties, obligations, rights, tax processes, and procedures, and benefit of voluntarily complying among others. Tax education, therefore, is not a minor matter, but key in helping to build one, understanding for citizens to know what they owe, why they owe it, and how the funds are used. 2, compliance, that when people understand, they are more likely to comply, not out of fear, but out of conviction and commitment. 3, equity and fairness, a tax system that is transparent, understandable, and fair gains legitimacy. We must acknowledge that some citizens will always remain skeptical, asking, what do I gain from paying taxes? Or why should I pay when I billion, as against a target of 130.2 billion from January to December 2025? This represents a positive deviation of 347 million savings. As the tax may seem, I have full confidence in the board and in the Commissioner General, his management and staff, that they will end the year with a positive deviation. The authority, I am aware, has introduced a number of initiatives aimed at efficiently collecting revenue. I made good progress to remove what we consider nuisance taxes, which for the first 120 days of my administration, by repealing the E-Levy Act and the betting tax. One area I urge the authority to also pursue vigorously, and which is in line with the 24-hour economy initiative, is to focus on players in the night market economy. Some businesses operate only at night, and it is very easy for them to escape our lenses. However, if we are working around the clock, not just as the front end, we should be able to bring all these businesses into the tax net. I know the Ministry of Finance is committed to supporting the authority to embrace the use of enhanced technology, simplifying tax filing and payment processes, and ensuring transparency and accountability with a view of improving voluntary tax compliance. Fellow Ghanaians, as we launch today an initiative that goes to the heart of nation building, we launch a campaign that seeks not only to raise revenue, but to raise awareness, raise responsibility, and raise hope. In addition, we launch an initiative that will rope in those in the informal sector into the tax net. Let us imagine our beloved country in which a teacher in a remote village has a decent classroom, thanks to revenue collection. A nurse in a district hospital has the equipment she needs because of sustained funding. A young graduate finds a job in a small enterprise that formalizes and expanded because the business environment improved. Citizens commute on roads you help pay for your taxes at work. Build a safer and peaceful country by equipping our security personnel. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all to be ambassadors of this campaign. Talk about it, attend the session, help your neighbors to understand the gospel of taxation and volunteer. compliance. Together we can make this not just a policy initiative, but a cultural transformation, building a happy taxpayer regime. On this note, I wish to officially launch the Sustained National Tax Education Campaign and the Modified Taxation Scheme. May they advance our shared aspiration, strengthen our collective fortune, and deepen our national unity. God bless our homeland. Thank you.
As all the speakers, including CDs, when they know, when they understand, then they willingly comply. So, for instance, we engage in religious leaders, we make an appearance at major festivals like
I'm making it available on this flyer so that those who have not been able to familiarize themselves with the scene. And we also have, in addition, we have scanners